Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. So I have a bit of an email here that I'm going to read. It's a bit graphic, I'll warn you, and it's a bit of a long story, but I think it's a good story for you guys out there talking about, yes, the topic of porn and masturbation. So, yes, like I said, graphic topic here, just a quick warning here, but I think this is important. I've done some videos on the topic before you can check out. Maybe there'll be a playlist now. That's a kind of a weird playlist, but hey, you know, whatever. But I think this is really important, actually. So a lot of people don't address this. I'm going to address this here, and this story I found to be interesting and informative for those of you guys out there. So I got this email that says, "Hello, John. Please keep my name anonymous." Of course I will. First of all, I want to thank you for the work you do in Simple Programmer, which has benefited me a lot as a human being. Your videos and your book, Soft Skills, took me to the next level of my programming career. Even before I even graduated as a computer scientist, people came to look for me to ask if I can work in their companies, and I realized that in programming world, people do not care what you say, but what you have built. It's very true. Like most men, I have a problem/addiction which I have been struggling with through my life since I graduated high school. This addiction is porn and masturbation. I have tried to watch a lot of videos about it and also did the NoFap challenge on Reddit, but to no avail. I have always been failing. And I talked about this, I think, in some of the videos about why the NoFap challenge and stuff is not exactly what I would recommend. And all right, so he says here, last week on Monday, April 17th, this addiction almost made me take my life due to a foolish thing I did because of my sexual desires. I hope you can use my story to educate people why they need to stop masturbation and warn them of its consequences. You might find me to be really foolish with the decisions I made in this story, which I also do, but they say smart people learn from other people's mistakes, and I hope your community can learn from my mistake. Last week on Monday, I was home all alone and I decided to watch porn and masturbate. After doing this, I still had more desires and I decided to download a dating app to find girls in my area. Within no time, some girls texted me and they asked me if we can chat on a messenger application, which is the most popular app used in the country I live in. I started talking to the girl, and she was amazed how I could speak her language. I am a foreigner in a country where I live and can speak 3 languages. While we were talking, the one thing that was in my head was sex. It seems all the blood had drained down to my man downstairs, and I could not think straight. She suddenly asked if we could do phone sex using video calling, and without thinking, I agreed. I am not going to give the details of the video calling sex, but after almost an hour, we did something. After coming to my sense, I dropped my phone. It was too late. I had already messed up. Sounds like he's going to lose his kidneys, right? Like, wake up. I opened up my phone, and the message I saw made me drop my phone to the floor. Dropping the phone twice. There we go. All right, I could not believe my eyes. Is this really happening in my life? The girl on the other end of the video was recording everything I was doing with her. She started texting me and told me I needed to send her some money, some amount of money, or she would send the video to all my friends. I agreed to send the money, and she said I should send her $500. I said I can only afford $200, which she told me to send. I sent her the money, and after that, she asked me for my phone number to talk to me. The person who called me with a private phone number seemed to be an old man, and they were background noises, which seemed to be a big hall full of people working with computers. Whoops. I decided to record him, and he said I should send him the rest of the money immediately. I was confused and cut the phone and ran to the kitchen and took a knife. I went in front of a mirror and looked at myself before cutting my wrist. I did not know what happened, but I dropped the knife after looking myself in the mirror. I decided to text the person again and told them I will come up with money the next day. The person sent me a file, which he told me to install on my phone so that I can see they delete my video. I downloaded the file, but they did not install on my phone. By the way, just a side note here in the story. If you're in a situation like this, right, I mean, don't take things to the drastic extreme. Like, even the worst situation in life you can recover from. You know, taking your life is definitely a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I know that's cliche, but it's so true, and I want to make sure that I say that here because I know a lot of you are young. You go through emotional ups and downs. There's a lot of shit that happens in your life, and you think it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Even if this went as bad as it could possibly go, it's still not the end of the world, okay? But, Paris Hilton had a sex tape go out, right? So, hey, she didn't kill herself. All right. But this is serious. I don't mean to not take this serious, because this is serious. This is seriously something that can happen. It's not good. All right, let's continue. He said, I could not sleep Monday night. I searched for my situation on the internet and found 10 similar stories exactly similar to my story. It turns out the file they sent me was to be used to hack my phone and steal all my contacts. Once they had all my contacts, they would send the video to all my friends and destroy my life. That sounds fun. The cases I read included people who wanted to commit suicide. I decided to text some of my friends and told them to come to my place, and I told them the story and everything that happened. That is smart. That disarms the blackmail, right? And that's a very smart tactic, by the way. Very, very smart to do. When you know shit is coming, go and face the shit, right? This is very, very smart, okay? I was ashamed of myself, but I was surprised that one of my friends who I told this story and who is a girl had been struggling with the same thing in her life too. She told me it was very brave of me to come out to her because she was not able to come out about her situation. She stayed in my house all night, and she comforted me and helped me to text the people again as they continued to threaten me. I sent more money to the people, not so bright, and they said they did not receive any money. I decided to tell my pastor about what I did the next day, and he was comforting. I thought he would judge me and rebuke me, but he said, even though I messed up, this was the time for me to learn the consequences of my desires. He contacted a cybersecurity professional and he explained the situation. The professional said, I am lucky that I did not install the file that they had sent me to, but my video is still out there on the internet. So, in conclusion, he says, I never messed up like this in my life. I never knew my desires could make me blind to do such stupid thing, but I guess it is something I have to live with in my life. The scammers never contacted me again after I started ignoring them. It seems they do not have leverage on me now, but my video is somewhere on the internet. I hope you can use this story to let people know about the dangers of masturbation and porn. The story is so long and I cannot write everything. Thank you, John, for everything, and keep on helping people in every way that you can. So, yeah, graphic story, obviously, right? But I wanted to read the story, and it is very long, because there's a few things here, right? This just shows you an example of what I'm talking about. This is why I actually take up this battle. Like I said, I don't really take it up from a moralistic viewpoint. I understand some of you do take it up from a moralistic viewpoint, but I don't think that's really helpful in getting people to change. The reason why I take up this battle and why I think that this is bad in your life, this addiction, any kind of addiction, but especially this addiction to pornography and masturbation, is because it is controlling you. It is making you weak. It is a crutch, okay? For those of you guys out there that, I've been coaching and been talking to you about how to actually attract a woman, how to actually be the kind of man that you want to be, right? This is a crutch. This is preventing you from going out there and actually overcoming your fears and talking to women and going out there and building up your confidence, because you can just go this road. You can just turn on the internet, click, and there you are. But it doesn't stop there. See, that's the problem, is that even though you may be satisfying an urge, a desire at a low level, right? And that's what it is. It's at a low level. You want something more, right? And this is the problem. This is what ends up happening, is that, in this case, our friend here, our anonymous friend here, he wanted more. So he's like, okay, well, let me go and find an app. And again, right? It's not like he didn't have the motivation, he didn't have the courage, he didn't have the confidence to go out and say, well, I'm going to go out and maybe I'll join some social thing, or maybe I'll go to a bar, or maybe something like that, and talk face to face with girls and actually like have human interaction. He said, well, what's another quick way to gratify myself? What's another quick way to get what I want? And that's where he's like, okay, well, I'll use this dating app, right? I think it's a way of buffering, right? So that you don't actually have to face your fears, and you can basically buffer yourself from rejection, because it makes it too easy. It makes it too easy for you. And when I say that, it's not even actually easy, right? At least not for guys on dating apps. It's not a good idea, not a good plan. But anyway, that meeting a desire at a very low level leaves you still hungry, okay? It really does, but not in a good way, right? When the desire's not being met entirely. You got to figure out a plan. You got to figure out the right way to be able to get what you want out of life, right? And the thing is, like, when you're just being sustained, right? And again, this is the same thing that I would say with a lot of people that are abusing drugs and alcohol, is the same type of thing. They're meeting a desire at a very, very low level just to sustain themselves, but it's never enough, right? You need more, right? And when you're going down the wrong way to meet that desire, you're just looking for something a little bit more. So in this case, our friend here, got one of those apps. He finds a girl on there, and in video sex becomes the next thing. It's a little bit better, right? And so he makes a stupid decision, okay? Because of this, because he's being led, okay? He is not in control. He is not mastering himself in this case, right? And so, again, some of you are like, wow, I don't understand why you're making these kind of videos and stuff like this. It's about self-mastery, right? It's about the ability to think what you want to do in life, how you want to behave, how you want to act, what you want to become, and to have the willpower and the determination and the ability to be able to do that. And that's what this is about. So for you guys out there, again, you're struggling with this. I understand. But remember, it's not about just like preventing behavior. It's about changing mindset. And that's a key, right? One of the big things I'll tell you again with struggling with this, but I'll tell you, I've said it many times, is that you cannot stop behavior, right? When you're trying to overcome addictions, when you're trying to overcome bad behaviors, just stopping the behavior, just preventing it is, like I said, it's like a rubber band pulling back, right? And it's eventually going to snap. What you have to do is you have to change the mindset. You have to have a new vision of yourself. You have to have a new calling. You have to switch the context. You have to make it so that you see yourself as better than that. You see yourself as not the kind of person that needs to do that sees that as a crutch, that sees it as a weakness, that doesn't want help, doesn't want weaknesses, doesn't want a crutch, right? That's the key. And once you do that, you will overcome. And I speak from experience here guys, okay? I'm not afraid to say this because I speak from experience, knowing that I struggled with this just about every single guy ever did, but I don't anymore. I guarantee you, it's not even a concern. It's not even the smallest bit of a temptation to me anymore because of that mindset change, because of how I see myself. Part of it is the context that, hey, I'm sort of a guy that is trying to show you how to live a life and that I want you to be able to have and live, so I got to live up to that. So part of it is that, right? I've given myself that mission, but I see myself that way, right? And part of it is just because I see better things. I see a better vision, right? And I see myself in a more masculine way where that is a weakness. And I do not want to be controlled by desires. I don't want to be controlled by things that I haven't decided that I want for myself in life. So this is just a good story. I think just a good example for you guys out there of where this can go. And this could have gone a much worse direction, and it does for some people. I did that video about the Facebook was it Facebook? Yeah, the VR guy, right? You can check out that VR guy where, he picked up some underage girl and he went to jail for all this stuff because of something similar, right? This is the key. So again, I'm not speaking to you from a moralistic viewpoint. I really don't care about that, because I'm talking to you from a practical viewpoint that if you are letting anything in your life control your life, if you're letting anything lead you and you are not the master of it, if you're not the control of it, right? And this could be, like I said, it could be porn addiction, it could be food, right? Hell, there's a lot of people that food is the thing that is controlling their life. Their urges to eat food is controlling their life. It could be laziness, right? That could be it. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be a lot of things. It could be relationships. It could be the neediness from thinking that you need people, from seeking external validation from people. Check out the video on external validation if you haven't already. But whatever it is, these are the things you have to eliminate from your life. You have to eliminate these crutches, because when something is controlling you, it can take you a place where you wouldn't go on your own, right? That's what happened in this story. Is I'm sure our friend here, I'm sure he was not planning this. I'm sure that he would not want to do this. I'm sure that in his rational right mind, he would realize that, hey, someone could be recording this on the other end. Hey, this is probably not a good idea. This is not smart. But when you get into that mode, when you have these things controlling you, your only thought is, how can I gratify this desire? And you're doing it at a very low level. When you figure out ways to gratify desires at higher levels, right? Levels that actually provide fulfillment for you, not just getting through the day, okay, then you do things usually the right way, right? They're usually uplifting and positive to you and actually improve your life. It's only when you go to the base desires, when you try to meet whatever need that you have at the lowest level, right? Which is usually the easiest level, as opposed to when the good things in life are difficult, right? It takes courage, it takes fortitude, it takes grit to accomplish the things that are actually worth something in life. But when you try and take that shortcut and you think that that's not a problem, that's where you go down these roads. All right, that's enough, I think, about this. Really, I just wanted to give you this story because it's something that can happen. It's a warning, obviously. Just some common sense here. I'll wrap it up with this: is whatever you take a picture of on your phone, okay, whatever you record on video, whatever you put on the internet, whatever goes over a webcam on Skype or whatever, assume that that's public, because it can be, and it probably will be, right? Just assume that it's recorded and assume that it's going out. If you Snapchat some shit, assume that that's going out. Just assume anything that you type or do on the internet or record with a camera is public domain, that it will go out at some time. This is just some common sense here, just warning you, right? Think about those things, right? That's just some common sense. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you today. If you have not subscribed already and you want to see just how far I will go down this rabbit hole, click that subscribe button. If you've got questions on this topic, if I'm not addressing something here on you're still struggling, you're not getting this whole porn and masturbation thing, you disagree, leave a comment below. Let me know. Send me an email if you want. That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.